Taurus for Monday. Hello, Taurus. All right, let's see, Father, what do we have for Taurus for Monday? We got the Hierophant, but it's in reverse. Rebel, 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 okay? This is you being the rebel, okay? I'm hearing the rebel of the group or the rebel of the family. You don't want to stick to what people are trying to put you in a box about. You might even be, practicing your religion your type of way, and people have something to say about it, okay? Because the Hierophant talks about religion and things like that and the rules. And you're like, look, I'm breaking all the rules because these rules don't make sense to me, okay? This is kind of like acceptance of everybody, non-judgmental, making sure that you just keep your mind open to everything and anything. I'm hearing this even could be about politics and stuff like that. It's kind of like, you don't have a rigid sense of, okay, I got to do this or I have to be that. You're like, I do what makes sense to humanity. I do what makes sense to the world, okay? Because it'd be crazy for me to, what do they say? Just keep going with a narrative that doesn't make sense. Keep going with a rule. Keep doing the same thing when it doesn't make sense. Even at work, something may be really triggering at work. Like, why do we do it like this? It makes no sense to do it like this. Look, I'm going to do it how I do it. Or, I'm even seeing somebody training someone. Like, I'm going to train you how it's supposed to be done. They're going to tell you this. We've all had that type of training, right? They're going to tell you this, but this is how you really do it. This is the easiest way to do it. It makes sense this way as long as nobody's health or safety is, at jeopardy or anything like that. I see you kind of just doing things that make sense rather than doing things because people told you to do it, okay? And this could have a lot to do with your family members as well, and I'm not hearing black sheep, so don't even take on that title because a lot of people want to claim to be the black sheep of the family, and it's not even about that. People don't see you as different. They see you as open. They don't see you as, oh, get away from me. They see you as, oh, I like when they come around because they're open. I can talk about anything and they won't judge me for it. You get what I'm saying? All right. Because the black sheep always comes as a negative connotation, like, ooh, we got to get them away from our flock. They different. They too different. Like, no, they appreciate the differences. Your hidden energy is the Page of Cups and the Five of Wands. I told you, some people don't like some of the things that you have to say, but you just going to say it. Page of Cups is like that communication. Like, I'm just going to talk about it. I'm just going to say what's got to be said. I say it in a very charismatic way because, that's the only way I know how to speak about whatever you believe in. But then these are people that have problems with it. But you don't care. You do not care. Five of Wands is all about that drama and chaos that people try to invite you to. But here you go as the Page of Cups. Like, I'm going to gently say this. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. But it's going to be the truth and it's going to be real. Okay? I hope that helps and bless. Have a beautiful, blessed week. Thank you, Taurus.